you are for your pride. Thanks. This is my Pride Month.
It's beginning to look like woke Christmas. Rainbows in every store. But the prettiest sight to see, Hollis became Holly and his wings on your front porch. Are you ready? Are you excited? It is the month we've all been waiting for. We have been waiting with anticipation since last year. We have went through all 60 or so of the standalone holidays that are set aside to celebrate Pride, National Coming Out Day, Transgender Awareness Day, Non-Binary Parents Day, Emotional Support Animal Day. Although those holidays are very, very special, they pale in comparison to the most wonderful time of the year. I'm sure all of you guys have already gotten your decorations out of the attic. I know in my neighborhood, the wreaths are already on front doors. The rainbow lights are up. The reindeer are properly placed in the front yard. Mr. and Mr. Claus are preparing to visit those who were good throughout the year. And they are damn sure preparing to visit those who were a bit naughty. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Today is Monday, June 1st, which means it is officially the first day of woke Christmas. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. For those of you who use a regular calendar instead of the standard issued woke calendar, June 1st is the official beginning of Pride Month, or as we call it here on the channel, Woke Christmas. We have 2 days set aside each year to celebrate and honor those who are willing to sacrifice their lives by serving in our military. We just had Memorial Day last week, and we have Veterans Day in November. Now, me personally, I think we should have 365 days set aside to honor the brave men and the brave women in our military. But what the hell do I know? I celebrate Christmas in December. With the 30 days of woke Christmas included, there are almost 100 days on the woke calendar that are set aside to celebrate Pride. Historically, Pride Month was filled with festive celebrations. Teams throughout the NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, they would dip their team logos in the rainbow. I'm sure it goes without saying that woke Christmas is a major holiday in the WNBA dump for obvious reasons. Historically, the streets of major cities would be filled with festive parades. Dozens of identifiers show up to see the stars of RuPaul's Drag Race perform. Doofus celebrities use what's left of their rapidly dwindling influence to show their support. I'm a trad wife, but I experimented in college. I'm just like you. Please buy the trinkets I'm selling. 4 or 5 years ago, woke Christmas was a really big deal. But over the last year, maybe even 2 years, it seems like Pride Month has declined a little bit. It's no longer as celebrated. It's no longer as mainstream. And in some cities, woke Christmas has officially been canceled. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. From kindergarten through the 8th grade, I was in private school. Every year, the school sponsored a trip to Disney World in Orlando for the 8th grade class. Spring of 1999. Uncle KC had finally made it to the 8th grade, and the entire class was looking forward to going to Disney World in Orlando. But there was one problem, one tiny problem. The school refused to let us go. We could go to Universal Studios. We could go to Busch Gardens over in Tampa, which I'm pretty sure is owned by a beer company, but the school would not allow our prepubescent minds to visit Disney World. Why? In the late 90s, Disney World began hosting Pride Week at their park. Not Pride Month, not Pride Year. Hell, the week of celebrations, it was 2 months after our scheduled trip to Disney World. But the school, they would not budge on their decision. They were not sponsoring a trip for children to Disney World. Now, at the time, I didn't understand their decision. I thought they were being overprotective. I thought they were being overly religious. But looking back on it over 25 years later, I understand where the school was coming from. For starters, they didn't want to run the risk of exposing their kids to pride. But the main reason they canceled the trip, they knew if you give doofus Democrats a week, they'll demand 2 weeks. Then they'll demand a month. Next thing you know, the rainbow flag is flying 12 months out of the year. I don't think the vast majority of people have a problem with the LGBT community having a day set aside in your city to celebrate themselves. Where I think it becomes a problem is when the celebrations last for an entire month. And there's this expectation that you are expected to celebrate with them. Several cities across America have had enough. Long Beach, California, beautiful city, amazing weather. I spent a week in Long Beach a few years ago. I thought it was incredible. Last month, the 2026 Long Beach Pride Festival was abruptly canceled. A festival of Wiener in the People's Republic of California was terminated. Why? Well, from my understanding, the city refused to issue a permit. Translation: the city of Long Beach told deacons at Woke United Methodist that a pride festival in their city was no bueno. Tampa, Florida. Recently, the city announced a full 1-year hiatus of pride events. No pride festival, no diversity parade. I actually feel bad for the diversity deputies who work hard all year to be recognized. And the event designed to recognize these diversity deputies who fight against mythical racism, they fight against mythical misogyny. They fight to ensure that diversity quotas are not only being met, they're being exceeded. The diversity deputies work hard all year, and the event designed to recognize their accomplishments has been terminated. The Quad Cities in Iowa and Illinois, their Unity Parade that was scheduled for this weekend, canceled. Tucson, Arizona, Pride operations have been shut down indefinitely. From my understanding, Pride in Tucson is officially out of business. Now, there are a variety of reasons for the cancellation of Pride events throughout major cities in America, but the one reason that kept being repeated was a lack of funding. You see, several years ago, the reason we saw celebrations of Wiener in damn near every city in America, woke corporations, they were providing most of the funding for these events. Woke corporations were donating tens of millions of dollars so identifiers could ride in the Pride Parade. For several years, I was in a Mardi Gras organization. We had around 300 members paying $1,000 a year to be in the organization. Now, that's $300,000 in dues alone. Our organization, we only had one Mardi Gras parade every year. $300,000. That should be more than enough to cover the expenses for the parade, right? We held fundraisers throughout the year. We held fishing tournaments, golf tournaments, drawdowns, raffles. The point is, it is incredibly expensive to put together a parade or a festival. And without sympathy money coming in from woke corporations, a lot of these pride celebrations have went bankrupt. Uncle KC, why are corporations refusing to support Pride? Why are these greedy corporations refusing to support unity and love? Remember a few years ago when Target started their celebration of Pride 1 month early? Remember when young mothers were horrified as they walked into Target and they saw Chad Thundercock modeling a tuck friendly bathing suit? If I remember correctly, I believe that happened in May of 2023. Women boycotted Target prior to their association with Chad Thundercock. Target stock was trading for around $160 a share. Today, their stock price is down to a cool $123. In the last 5 years, Target has lost almost 50% of its value. That's why corporations have disassociated themselves from Pride. Corporations have figured out that most Americans don't want Pride shoved in their face. Pride events in the past, they used to be about fighting for rights, but gay marriage was legalized over 10 years ago. So, what is left to fight for? As is often the case with doofus Democrats, they push things too far. Disney was indoctrinating kids with Pride. Target was pushing tuck-friendly bathing suits, Cracker Barrel, Bud Light. For the most part, these corporations have never recovered from their association with Pride. As a result, other corporations, they're just not willing to take the risk. Why would they risk associating themselves with Pride to appease 5, maybe 10% of the population? Why would they appease them and risk alienating the other 90 to 95%? The truth is, corporations do not care about ideology. They don't care about morality. They don't care about Republican or Democrat. Corporations care about money. That is the only reason they exist, to make money. They are beholden to shareholders. They are beholden to their investors. Investors tend to get really pissed off when you lose 50% of your value, all because you wanted to sponsor the Wiener Float and the Pride Parade. If you want to know who is really responsible for the decline of Pride, it is American women. Target changed everything. Women are better than men at a lot of things. Women are tough. They deal with pain better than us men do. My wife, she can work through cramps, migraines. Uncle KC gets a little sinus headache, and I'm absolutely miserable. But one of the things that women do better than men, they hold a grudge. Women never forget how you make them feel. American women changed everything when they boycotted Target. Combined with the boycott of Bud Light, it was the first time corporate America realized that normal people were serious about fighting back. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.